The .NET platform is a software for building systems or software on the Windows family of operating systems, as well as on the numerous non-Microsoft operating systems such as Mac OS X, Linux or Unix distribution. The .NET can be considered as the runtime environment and a comprehensive base class library. It is composed of 3 building blocks inside it. There's a CLR layer, there's a CTS layer, and there's a CLS layer. The CLR layer is the runtime layer of the .NET base library. CLR stands for Common Language Runtime. The primary role of this layer is to locate the .NET objects. After locating these .NET objects, it loads them into memory. After loading these .NET objects into memory, the CLR manages these .NET objects. There are other low-level details that this layer of the .NET takes care of, such as memory management, application hosting, coordinating threads, and performing security checks, among other low-level details managed by the CLR. That is the responsibility of the CLR layer of the .NET base class library. The second layer is the CTS layer, which is Common Type System. The responsibility of this layer or this specification is basically fully describe all possible data types and all programming constructs supported by the runtime. So if you create .NET objects which are CTS compliant, that does not guarantee that all programming languages that are aware of the .NET will consume the types defined by your class library, because this layer basically describes all possible types that are supported by the runtime, meaning it describes the types that are supported by C++, it describes the types that are supported by C#, it describes the types that are supported by Visual Basics, it describes the types that are supported by F#. All of them, they are described in this specification or in this layer of the .NET base class library. Not only this layer describes the types, but it also describes the relationship between these types. It describes how these entities, which are types, can interact with each other, and it also details how these entities are represented in the .NET metadata. I will describe what the metadata is momentarily. Let's go to the third layer of the .NET base class, or the third building block of the .NET base class. The third building block of the .NET base class is the Common Language Specification, or the CLS in short. So CLS is a related specification that defines a subset of common types and programming constructs that all .NET programming languages can agree on. So this one also describes the types, the common types, but it describes the types that the common types or programming constructs that all the programming languages can agree on. The CTS, the previous layer, describes all the common types that are supported by the runtime as a whole. So this one describes the subset of the